Hello class, today we're going to talk about mean absolute deviation. And this is part 7 of our curriculum review. So what I'd like for you to do is I would like for you to find for me the mean of this data set. Okay, so again, what do I mean by find the mean? Well, mean is nothing but average. So that means I need you to take this data set here, add them all together, and divide by how many there are. That's how you find the average of a data set. So pause the video and find for me the mean of this data. Okay, we'll find out how you did in just a few moments. So let's talk about mean absolute deviation. Mean absolute deviation is nothing but the average, or the mean distance a number is from the average of the set of data. Now we know for this mean absolute deviation there's really 3 steps that we follow in order to find it. The first step is what I had you do in that problem just a few moments ago, was find the mean of the data. So to do that, you take each data point, you add them all together, and you divide by how many there are. In that last data set, there were 10 numbers, so we're going to divide by 10. The second thing I need for you to do is find the positive difference between each data point and the mean. Okay? And then the third step is we're going to find the mean of all of the differences. So let's see if we can do that of that set of data that I just gave you. Well, if you did everything correctly, when you added all the numbers together, you should have come up with 470. And if we divide that by the number of numbers there are, which is 10, you end up with a mean of 47. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to find the differences of each data point from the mean. Now, in order to do that, I need a positive difference, so you're always going to take the larger number and subtract the smaller number from it. So this first one, I'm going to do 47 minus 45, which would give me 2. Okay, then the next time we'll take the 60 and I'm going to subtract the 47, which would give me 13. Then on the next one, I'm going to do 47, take away 35, which would give me 12, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the rest of the data points should follow like this. This one should have 7 and 2, 3, 8, 3, 7, and 3. So these are all the differences between the mean and the data point. Now, in order to find the mean absolute deviation, we're going to take these differences, we're going to add them together, and then we're going to divide that by 10 again. So if you add up all of these differences, you should find out that the sum is 60. Now, I will divide that by 10, and then 60 divided by 10 gives us 6. So the mean absolute deviation of this set of data is 6. So again, this is the average distance each one of these data values is from the mean. So again, just to kind of review, how do we find mean absolute deviation again? Well, step 1, you find the mean of the data. So you add up your data points and divide by how many there are. Second, you find the positive difference between each number and the mean. And then third, you find the mean of the differences. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do is just like we've been doing, okay, you're going to solve a couple problems for me. In this particular form, there are 4 questions that I want you to answer. Okay, it's done like yesterday's, where it's like a quiz, where each question is worth 5 points. Okay, and total score on this particular one is 20. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do, okay, on this one right here, it says we want to find the mean absolute deviation of each set of data and then round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so that's very important that I need us to remember that we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. So on the first question, you're going to find the mean absolute deviation of Susan's sub shop, and on the second question of the picnic basket. And then you're going to put that number in, rounded to the nearest hundredth, into the form. And then we just have 2 multiple choice questions. Number 3 is find the mean absolute deviation of this data set. And then number 4, tell me what mean absolute deviation is all about. So that's mean absolute deviation. So until next time, this is part number 7.